You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the UNC Tarheels assistant field hockey coach, Coach Caitlin Van Sickle. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start getting into college coaching?
I think it started when towards the end of my playing career with the national team. I just kind of started thinking about what would be next. And obviously I love the sport. So getting into coaching was not like a hard decision for me. I didn't know really if I would be good at it necessarily, and who knows if I am, but it really interests me. So like that was kind of, it wasn't that hard of a thing to start thinking about when I knew my career was maybe going to be over.
What was it like, obviously, playing for Carolina Tar Heels?
It was great. It was my dream school, regardless of field hockey. I kind of fell in love with UNC my parents said when I was about 6. So, and it wasn't obviously field hockey, it was like soccer and basketball. I played basketball since I was little. So that was I was drawn to Michael Jordan and obviously Carolina basketball. So it was pretty incredible when I got the opportunity to attend.
How did it feel to put on that Carolina Tar Heels jersey for the first time?
Felt pretty good, Brandon. No, it was an honor to just put it on and be a part of such a historical program and all that encompasses that. But for me personally, yeah, it was just like, wow, one of your dreams has come true. So it was very special.
As a player, what was it like playing in the 2009 national championship?
That was pretty awesome too, because I was technically that was like my first year playing. I redshirted, but that was my first year playing. So obviously the standard was pretty high after that season of, you want to get back to the national championship. You want to have that feeling. But it was definitely nerve wracking. Like obviously you play the whole season, but that's like on another level. And, you want to do well. You want your team to win, obviously. And then you try and treat it as much as a normal game as you can. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. But definitely I was pretty nervous.
Of course, after your senior year, did you know that you were going to go to the national level?
I knew I wanted to try and pursue it. I didn't know if it would work out. My coaches, obviously Karen, Shelton, and Grant, encouraged me to pursue it even before I was a senior. But then you kind of have to try out. So things were obviously unknown a little bit, but it was something that I wanted to go for. Yeah.
How did your 6 years with the national team help you to where you are now as a college coach?
Oh, tremendous. Like the experiences and the knowledge that I gained just from playing at that level are pretty much, I think they really shaped me into kind of the coach that I am now. And I saw different coaching styles even within that 6 years that I hope to emulate here. And, obviously I like certain things, I didn't like certain things, but just the knowledge that I gained from playing at that level is second to none. And again, being around elite coaches for 6 years, I mean, obviously now I'm like, maybe I should have taken in more things, but I tried to be as much of a sponge as I could and just learn tactically, technically, as much as I could when I was a player. And now I feel like I am using some of that knowledge, probably a lot of it, in my coaching today.
What was your time like going to Princeton, becoming the assistant coach?
It was short, but it was very sweet. And it was a great stepping stone for me. I coached club for a year prior in Malvern, and that was a good experience. I learned certain things about myself, mainly by coaching ages from 8 to 18, and then going to Princeton again was a good stepping point for me, because I knew college coaching was what I ultimately wanted to do. And then that opportunity came about, and I again learned from those from Carla and Dina, and just being on a college campus and like how things kind of work like administratively and that sort of thing. So that was, and the kids were amazing and so super welcoming, and just it was a great place to kickstart my career, I guess.
What was it like, obviously, working on the Ivy League level where Princeton's at, and then transferring over to the Division I level, going back to your alma mater?
Yeah, I mean, they're both Division I, so but they each have their own challenges and uniqueness, I guess you could say. Princeton's obviously a much smaller school, so some of the general things that you see in the day-to-day, like there's not as much staff, and that's just normal because it's an Ivy League and it's smaller. And then here at UNC, it's obviously a much bigger school, so we have just like more people around. Neither is better or worse. They're just kind of different. And again, it was good for me to like learn the Ivy background, and then now I'm here, and you don't realize things that go on behind the scenes at both places, and how much goes into the day to day. So both are, I learned a lot from both.
What was that feeling like, coming back to your alma mater of UNC to get coaching?
Very special. When Coach Shelton approached me about applying for the position, I was very much like torn, because I really enjoyed Princeton. I enjoyed the staff there and the players. But this was an opportunity I couldn't really pass up, just because it's like you said, it's my alma mater, and this place has always meant a lot to me. So coming back is very special, and I pinch myself every day that I'm here doing what I like to do. So it's great so far.
How has your time as an Olympian and a former UNC Tar Heel player helped you to the coach you are now at UNC?
Yeah, so it started, I feel like when I was at UNC, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to keep playing. And so I wasn't thinking about gaining knowledge like when I was a player here. But then once you get on the national team, you kind of you pick up things from different coaches, different playing styles that you play against. You're like, oh, I could take that. Little bits and pieces now that I think, maybe help me. Definitely my experiences helped me be a better coach. So they're all, I feel like I took a lot away from each experience in each country even that I went to.
What's it like, obviously, getting back into the ACC and coaching against those teams that you played, like NC State and Duke?
Well, I've only coached like scrimmages, obviously, but I feel like the fall will be a better tell of how that feels. It's obviously, when we scrimmage though, you want to win. So, and we did scrimmage Duke, and so that felt a little bit like the competitive juices were flowing a little bit more.
What is a typical game day like as a coach from versus your time as a player?
I don't get as nervous, I would say. We'll see what happens in the fall again, but I mean, I definitely got nervous, and you want them to do well, but it's at the end of the day, like they have to do it. You can just give them the tools. So that's where a little bit of the frustration comes in, and it makes it harder. But but you just hope that you've prepared them well. And there's a little bit more like gratification when you see them do something well that you've been working on all week. And it's like, yes, they are listening to you. So those little moments are special.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture you've built upon from your time as a player to now as a coach?
I think I learned a lot by being on the national team about culture and what I want culture to look like. And obviously it's not going to be perfect all the time, but I think integrity is important. I think hard work is very important, but most of all, I think the collective needs to have a goal and they all need to strive for that, or else I don't know how it would work. I don't know how if you don't have a goal in mind, how you're going to work hard every day. I just don't see how that would happen. So we try and create that culture and hardworking culture at UNC. We're constantly working on it. So
what are some of the things that you've learned as a coach under, obviously, your former coach, Coach Karen Shelton?
Again, she taught me the definition of hard work. Day in and day out. Like if you weren't working hard, you were going to hear about it. And just, she sets the standard herself when she comes into the office, she's cleaning up the field. Like she sets the example. She picks up trash and does the little things. And I think doing those little things, you're leading by example, and who's not going to follow. So, I mean, that's just a couple examples, but I think she set the precedent, when I was here, however many years ago that was, a long time. And she still does it today. So she's doing something right.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective field hockey players?
I mean, they're pretty much, each kid, like every kid is maybe different, just depending on their level and if we want them, that sort of thing. But we go to recruiting tournaments throughout the year. It's pretty much starting in the winter and going all the way to preseason. So we'll go look at prospective athletes. You can't talk to them till June 15th of their junior year. So we can't have a ton of contact. They can email us, but we just can't respond if they're younger. But we have to have kids on our radar because again, it's competitive out there, and you have to prepare, you have to prioritize and watch a lot of field hockey, but it's all good.
What does the official visit look like at Carolina for field hockey?
They get to come for 48 hours. We put them up in a hotel, or they can stay with some other athletes sometimes. And then we'll typically give them a tour of everything. Sometimes they'll go to another sporting event, like a basketball game. We took them to the Duke game this year. Typically have a dinner, let them stay overnight again. Just kind of give them a little bit of taste of what they'll have in the fall as well.
Of course, as an alumni and a coach, what is it like, obviously, seeing them get to try on that Carolina blue jersey and fall in love?
Yeah, it's special. And I know kind of what they're going through. And like you said, how special it is to them. So we try and make it as special as possible while they're here, because it is meaningful and they've earned, their right to be here and be a Tar Heel. So we want to honor that, and we want to, again, make it feel as special as possible, because it's something that they should be proud of.
What advice would you give those high school athletes looking to become college field hockey players?
Just work as hard as you can every day and put your best foot forward, be a good student. Again, be the hardest worker at practice, and it's, the rest we'll just see what happens, but just control the controllables. That's all you can do.
What advice would you give the college players looking to become U.S. field hockey players such as yourself did?
Sorry, say that again.
What advice would you give college field hockey players looking to go on the U.S. field hockey level?
I mean, same kind of thing. Like, it's a little bit more evident if you can strive for that level. When you're in college, I think people kind of know if it's a chance or not. But again, put your best foot forward. Do the little things, do the extra conditioning, do the extra runs, and try and take in as much knowledge as you can every day in practice. And again, you never know what might happen if you put your best foot forward.
What advice would you give those people such as yourself that are coaching at their alma mater?
Take it in, enjoy it. I mean, it's an honor. It's special. It doesn't come around all the time. So, I try to do the best job I can every day. And, sometimes we'll get it wrong, but again, savor the moment because you don't know how long, nothing in life is guaranteed. So.
What advice would you give future college field hockey players looking to get in the industry?
I mean, I think nowadays, if you want to coach, you can coach like Division 1, 2, or 3, or club, whether it is. I mean, there's always opportunities and people need coaches. So if it's something you want to do, I'm sure there's ways for you to do it. Yeah, but at this level, I mean, again, your knowledge, and don't take that for granted, because people value what you've taken from college and other experiences. So don't sell yourself short.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the UNC field hockey program at?
I think the field hockey and Instagram is just at UNC field hockey. And then I'm only on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter or anything. It's at Poppy_20.
Thank you again, Coach Caitlin Van Sickle, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as a UNC Tarheels coach.
Thank you so much for your time.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Caitlin Van Sickle, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at UNC.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.